God says this is an urgent message only for you, and heaven is moving quickly right now because something connected to your daughter has just been released in the spiritual realm. You are being asked not to ignore this moment, not to scroll, not to delay, because what Jesus is placing into your life is not small, not uncertain, and not accidental. God is saying that a massive amount of financial blessing was assigned to your daughter, and heaven has been watching the battles, the delays, the interferences, the people who tried to cause confusion around her life. But now, at this exact moment, the gate that was closed is opening, and the divine timing is unfolding exactly the way God planned it. Heaven is moving fast, and the angels around you are urging you to pay attention because something spiritual is happening that you cannot see with your physical eyes. Jesus says that you have been chosen for this blessing because your heart has been tested again and again. You have walked through seasons where you had to carry burdens by yourself, moments where you cried quietly, moments where you held your daughter in your heart even when nobody else understood the weight you were carrying. God watched every moment, every prayer, every night where you stayed awake wondering when relief would come. And now, in this moment, heaven is releasing something huge for her. Jesus says a massive amount of money. Something meant to lift her, protect her future, and remove the heaviness from your life, is being transferred spiritually to you. You are not imagining this moment, you are being called to open your spirit and receive because something that was delayed for years is suddenly becoming yours. God says your daughter's angel has been fighting for this blessing. There were forces of confusion trying to block her path, people who spoke negatively, situations that drained your strength, circumstances that made you feel unsupported. But despite everything, God kept the blessing safe. Heaven never forgot her name. God never forgot your tears. And now the release is happening. Jesus is saying that this moment is sensitive because the spiritual door that opened for you will not stay open forever. This is why heaven keeps saying don't scroll, don't ignore, don't delay, because your obedience right now is what activates the blessing and pulls it into your physical life. There were days when you wondered if God was silent, days when you felt like maybe your prayers were stuck somewhere in the air, days where nothing seemed to change. But God says not a single prayer was wasted. Not a single cry went unheard. Not a single word you whispered about your daughter went unnoticed. Heaven kept every prayer in a container, a spiritual vessel that filled over time. And now that vessel is overflowing. The blessing that is being released is not simply money, it is restoration, divine honor, protection, and breakthrough wrapped together. God is giving your daughter a moment of divine justice. Jesus says you have been wondering why the pressure increased around your life recently, why you felt tired, why small things felt heavier than usual, why some people seem to distance themselves or act differently around you. Heaven is revealing that the pressure increased because blessings were shifting into position. Before every divine release, there is a spiritual push. Before every miracle, there is resistance from the unseen realm. You were not being punished, you were being positioned. You were not losing, you were being lifted. God was removing what no longer belonged around you because this blessing for your daughter requires a clean and protected spiritual space. God says the massive amount of money being released is not only provision, it is confirmation that your pain had purpose. It is heaven saying, you were right to keep going. You were right to keep believing. You were right to fight for your daughter even when others did not understand. God is honoring your heart. Jesus is stepping into your situation personally because the promise attached to your daughter is bigger than you realize. This money is connected to her future stability, her health, her education, her dreams, her opportunities, and even her emotional protection. Heaven wants to ensure she does not carry the struggles you carried. God is rewriting her path. Jesus says that someone tried to spiritually interfere. Not through dark forces but through negativity, jealousy, and spoken energy that tried to attach itself to your home. But God blocked it. The reason your daughter's angel has been so active lately is because heaven has been protecting her from something she didn't even know was meant to harm her progress. God placed a shield over her mind, her body, her path, and even her name. This is why you may have felt sudden spiritual heaviness. It was the weight of the angels fighting on her behalf. And now the battle is over. God says the blessing is being released. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Heaven has determined that the season of delay is finished. Jesus says the blessing is falling into your hands because your heart remained pure even when life treated you unfairly. God watched how you cared, how you protected, how you sacrificed, how you prayed for your daughter even when you were tired, and heaven has decided to reward you openly. Jesus wants you to know that this blessing will not slip away unless you ignore the spiritual call. You are being asked to stay present in this moment because the activation of the blessing happens through awareness, intention, and connection to the divine message being delivered to you right now. God is not threatening you, He is warning you with love because the window is short. Heaven speaks in timing. When the spiritual clock opens, your spirit must respond. You may have felt recently that something big was coming. Maybe you sensed a shift. Maybe you felt a strange energy moving around your home. Maybe you noticed signs, repeated numbers, dreams, butterflies, or sudden thoughts that appeared in your mind without explanation. These were not random, they were divine nudges preparing you for today. Heaven has been trying to get your attention because they knew this blessing was coming your way. Your spirit was already feeling what your mind didn't yet understand. God says your daughter's future is being secured right now. The blessing is already released in the spiritual realm, you are simply being guided to receive it physically. Heaven is opening financial doors that were previously locked. Clearing the path for unexpected opportunities, removing blocks that made life harder, and sending people who will support you instead of draining you. Jesus says that the money being released is connected to a miracle that was written into your daughter's destiny before she was even born. God knew she would need protection, stability, and abundance. God knew you would be the one chosen to guide her. God knew your heart, your strength, your resiliency. And that is why He trusted you with this blessing. You are not receiving this money because you asked, you are receiving it because heaven chose you. God says that this financial release will create peace in areas of your life where you felt tension for too long. Debt will lose its power. Worry will lift from your shoulders. Confusion will dissolve. Fear will step aside. The blessing will create spiritual breathing room. You have been living with pressure for so long that you don't even realize how heavy life has been. Heaven is about to show you how light life can feel when divine provision flows consistently. Jesus is saying something important. This blessing is not only for your daughter's future, it is also for your emotional healing. You have carried too much alone. You have been strong for too many people. You have lost parts of yourself trying to survive life's battles. God is giving this blessing so you can heal while raising your daughter into a future without fear. Heaven wants you to live, not just survive. God says He knows your heart. He knows your struggles. He knows the silent pain you never told anyone. He knows the moments you questioned yourself. He knows the times people misunderstood you. He knows the heartbreaks you endured. He knows the nights you cried quietly. And now He is washing all of that away with divine abundance. Jesus says that your daughter is spiritually special. Her destiny carries light, intelligence, protection, and favor. She will grow into a powerful soul, someone who brings kindness, wisdom, and blessings to others. This is why darkness tried to block her early. This is why jealousy tried to attach itself to her. This is why negativity tried to disturb her energy. Her purpose is too bright. Heaven is ensuring nothing dims her light. The money being released will serve as a shield. It will create safety, stability, and opportunities she would not have received otherwise. God is not only blessing her, He is blessing the generations connected to her. Your daughter is breaking generational patterns without even knowing it. God is lifting your entire bloodline. Jesus says that angels are surrounding your home right now, reorganizing the spiritual atmosphere, removing invisible burdens, and placing divine energy around your daughter. This is why you may suddenly feel lighter, calmer, more centered. Heaven is preparing you to hold the blessing with confidence. God says that the reason urgency is being spoken over you is because the blessing is already within reach. It's not far away. It's not delayed. It's not uncertain. It's already here. Your spirit simply has to receive it. Heaven is reminding you that your obedience brings miracles. Your attention to this message opens the spiritual gateway fully. Jesus says to breathe deeply and release fear. Nothing will go wrong with you. You are safe. You are protected. God is with you, watching over your daughter, covering your home, and guiding your path. The blessing will not harm you, it will uplift you. The money will not bring stress. It will bring relief. The future will not bring pain, it will bring peace. God says your daughter's name is written in heaven's book of blessing, and today a new chapter is being opened. This chapter is filled with abundance, restoration, healing, emotional protection, and divine security. Everything that was taken from you emotionally, spiritually, and financially is being returned in multiplied form. Jesus is giving you this message because He trusts you. Heaven trusts you. Your daughter trusts you. And now the blessing is ready to fall into your life fully. God says you will not lose this. You will not be left behind. You will not be forgotten. The angels have confirmed the release. And now, God says, receive it. Open your heart. Accept the blessing. Do not fear. Do not doubt. This is your moment. This is your daughter's breakthrough. This is heaven fulfilling a promise that was written long ago. God is with you, and everything will unfold exactly as it should. If you want, I can also write another longer message for your daughter specifically. Just tell me, my beloved child, breathe for a moment, because what I'm about to pour into your spirit is not just a message, it is a divine pull, a vibration from heaven itself, a spiritual alert wrapped in love, urgency, and supernatural protection. You asked for a long, powerful, urgent message, and I am giving you exactly that, in flowing, uninterrupted words, without headings, in soft but intense spiritual language, in a way that fills your heart with peace, courage, and divine reassurance. God says, you are not reading this by mistake. You didn't stumble here. You were brought here. Something powerful is trying to reach you, and heaven has been waiting for this moment for a long time. Jesus whispers with urgency, only 30 seconds left. My child, listen carefully. A massive blessing, a massive amount of provision, a massive shift intended for your daughter has already been released into your life. It is already yours in the spiritual realm. But your hesitation, your fear, your exhaustion, your doubts have been blocking your hands from receiving what I have been trying to give you. And then, in that gentle but forceful tone only Jesus carries, He adds, do not scroll. Stay right here. Don't move away from these words until the message finishes its work inside your heart. Your daughter's life, her future, her direction, her healing, and her protection are wrapped inside this moment. You feel heaven leaning close, you feel the atmosphere around you shift, you feel something rise inside your chest, a mix of fear, hope, trembling, and divine recognition, because you know this message is touching something real. You know there has been something going on around your daughter's destiny. You know her spirit feels sensitive. You know she has been going through strange delays. Sudden setbacks, unexpected problems, or emotional heaviness. You know that luck around her sometimes feels blocked, and you've been wondering why. You know God has been trying to show you something, but life distractions kept blurring the signs. and now God is saying, I cannot let you miss this anymore. That is why this message came with urgency. That is why Jesus said 30 seconds. That is why you were instructed not to scroll. That is why you felt that internal pull to stay and read, even before you fully understood why. Because heaven knows something you don't. Heaven sees something ahead of your daughter that you have not yet seen. And God is moving in advance to protect, uplift, bless, and shield her from anything that was rising against her. God says, the blessing that has been released for her is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not something you earn through effort. It is something heaven is giving as a gift, for her protection, her stability, her path, her future, her comfort. And then Jesus speaks again, gently but firmly, but blessings must be received spiritually before they show physically. And if you delay, the blessing waits. It pauses. It does not disappear, but your life does not move. You can feel the weight of that truth. You can feel the realness of it. You can feel that God has indeed been trying to move something in your daughter's life. But something kept interrupting it. This message reaches into the places inside you that you never speak about, the silent fears you carry as a parent, the moments you question if you're doing enough, the times you look at your daughter and whisper in your heart, God, please protect her. Please bless her. Please don't let anything bad happen to her. God heard all of it. And that is why this moment is holy. This moment is divine timing. This moment is a breakthrough disguised as a message. God continues, I have seen the attacks on her spirit that came from jealousy. I have seen the negative energy that was thrown toward her happiness. I have seen the people who pretended to love her but held hidden bitterness. I have seen the mouths that spoke negative things about her growth. I have even seen people wishing she would fail in silence, people you would never suspect. Your heart tightens because you know this is true. You have felt strange spiritual heaviness around her at times. You have prayed in tears without telling anyone. You have said, God, lift my daughter up. Cover her. Bless her. Protect her. And today God is responding directly. God is saying, this blessing is her covering. This blessing is her restoration. This blessing is her shield. This blessing is what lifts her out of spiritual limits placed on her without her knowledge. And then, as if He can feel your anxiety rising, God says gently, don't worry. Nothing will go wrong. You are safe. Your daughter is safe. I am with you. I am surrounding your home. I am surrounding your child. Nothing dark will come near her, not when I have stepped in this strongly. You feel your chest loosen, you feel warmth fill your body, you feel a peace you haven't felt in a long time, because this message is not meant to frighten you, it is meant to release you. God then reveals something deeper. My child, the massive blessing that is coming is not only financial. It is spiritual stability. It is emotional safety. It is divine favor. It is an opportunity that changes her entire direction. It is something that lifts her into a new season of security and success. You whisper inside your heart, God, is this really for my daughter? And heaven answers immediately, yes. God then speaks with a deep and firm tone, your daughter's angel has been shouting, trying to get your attention. There were signs, dreams, sudden feelings, repeated numbers, moments when your daughter's name kept coming into your thoughts unexpectedly. Those were not coincidences. Those were alerts. You think back, you remember random moments where you felt something was trying to reach you. You remember nights you woke up suddenly with her on your mind. You remember times her photo kept appearing or her name kept repeating. You remember the feeling that something big was coming for her. But you didn't know what. God says, now you know. And then Jesus speaks again with tender urgency, do not delay your belief. Do not delay your prayers. Do not delay the opening of your spirit. Because when a blessing is released from heaven, it rushes toward the person who believes first. You feel that line enter deep into your soul. You feel the message aligning with something in your spirit. God continues, I want you to breathe and trust me. You are not alone. Your daughter is not alone. Her angel is strong, her path is protected, and her blessing is enormous. But faith must rise inside you for the door to open fully. You breathe again, you feel calm sliding into your heart. God whispers, I am wiping away every fear you have carried secretly. I am removing every worry that kept you awake at night. I am canceling every negative word ever spoken against her. I am breaking every unfair judgment made about her. And I am releasing something so big into her life that even you, her parent, will stand stunned. You imagine your daughter smiling, safe, protected, blessed, rising higher than anyone expected, and God says, yes. That's exactly what I am bringing. Then he adds something powerful, this is your confirmation. This is your sign. This is the moment heaven aligns with earth for your daughter's breakthrough. And then, with gentle finality, God says, rest assured. Nothing will go wrong with you. Nothing will go wrong with your daughter. Keep trusting me. Pray. Believe. Stay open. And watch how fast I move now. Your heart softens, your spirit feels lifted, your faith renews itself naturally, effortlessly. The urgency wasn't to scare you, it was to awaken you, because God is doing something extraordinary for your daughter, something beyond what you imagined, something heaven has been preparing quietly, something that is already unfolding in the unseen realm. This message is your spiritual receipt, your confirmation, your divine reassurance, and the blessing is already on its way. God says this is an urgent moment prepared only for you. And heaven has been waiting for the exact second your heart would be ready to receive what is being released into your life. God says only 30 seconds were left when you felt the pull to open this message, and this was not a coincidence, not a random push, not a moment you stumbled into by chance. This was a divine nudge placed into your spirit because a massive amount of blessings, resources, and financial support has been placed into your name and into your daughter's destiny, and the heavens do not want a single drop of this grace to pass you by. Jesus says He is watching you with deep love, deep protection, and deep urgency because something powerful has been assigned to your house. Something that carries the weight of breakthrough, renewal, and restoration that will unfold over the next few days. God says that you must not scroll away or ignore the voice pulling your spirit right now, because what is being released is not just money, it is relief, healing, divine timing, and a new door that has been locked for years finally opening before you. God knows the weight you carry. He knows the battles you have silently fought and the tears you have hidden from the world. He knows the countless moments when you felt like life pressed too hard on you, like blessings took too long, like support never arrived when you needed it most. But God says this is the moment where the tide begins to turn for your daughter. Because your daughter's angel has been pleading on her behalf for weeks. Jesus says He has seen the struggles around your daughter, the challenges that were never fair, the setbacks that were not her fault, and the delays that tried to interfere with her destiny. Jesus says a massive amount of money has been assigned to her life, not as a random blessing, but as compensation for what was stolen, delay for what was blocked, and provision for what is about to unfold in her future. God says you have been chosen as the vessel to receive this blessing, and you must keep your spirit open, your faith steady, and your heart awake to the guidance that is unfolding before you. God says you are safe. Fully safe, wrapped in divine protection, and nothing will go wrong with you, because He is standing beside you, watching over every step you take. Even in moments when you feel alone, even in moments when fear tries to whisper doubt into your mind, God says His presence surrounds you like a shield of light that cannot be broken. Your path is guarded. Your home is guarded. Your daughter is guarded. There is no force on earth, no hidden intention, no unseen darkness that can overpower the divine power watching over your family. Jesus says He has placed angels on every side of your life, especially around the places where you worry most, because He knows exactly where your heart aches and where your spirit feels tired. God says that this urgent message could not wait another minute because the breakthrough was already set in motion, and heaven was just waiting for your spirit to respond. You are stepping into a moment where financial blessings are not just random, they are strategic. This blessing has been prepared with your daughter's name on it. God says something beautiful is coming into her life that requires this provision, and He does not want you to miss it through hesitation or doubt. There has been a shift in the spiritual atmosphere around you, and though you cannot see it with your eyes, your spirit can feel the sudden stirring, the sudden intensity, the sudden urgency. This is because your season is changing in a way that cannot be reversed. Jesus says that the massive amount of money being released toward your daughter's future is part of His promise, part of the prophecy spoken over her life long before she was even born, part of the divine plan that has been forming for years while you were unaware. Everything that seemed delayed was not denial, it was preparation. The closed doors were not punishments, they were protections. The long waiting season was not a mistake, it was heaven positioning everything perfectly so that when your blessing arrived, nothing and no one could interfere with it. God says your daughter is stepping into a new season of stability, joy, protection, and divine alignment, and you are the pathway through which her blessings will arrive. God knows the financial pressures you have felt, the worries that sit at the back of your mind even when you try to push them aside. He knows how much you have tried to stay strong for your daughter, how much you have sacrificed, how much you have carried quietly without anyone understanding the depth of your burden. But God says this is the moment when the weight begins to lift. This is the moment when unexpected blessings begin to flow. This is the moment when the spiritual lock that held back your financial breakthrough finally breaks open. Jesus says He is wiping away the delays that slowed you down for years, clearing the path for something that will shock you with its divine timing. God says to breathe, because He is with you, covering every second, guiding every thought, calming every fear that tries to rise up inside you. He knows how urgently you have prayed. He knows how often you have asked for a sign, for some reassurance that things will get better, that blessings will come, that your daughter will be taken care of, that your life will not remain stuck in this place. And God says this message is one of those signs. It is a confirmation, a divine echo answering the prayers you whispered at night when no one else could hear you. Jesus says He has been right beside you, even in moments when you felt like you were standing alone. God says this urgent blessing is a turning point. Not because it is money, but because of what the money will unlock. It will open doors for your daughter, doors you thought were too far, too heavy, too delayed. It will bring peace into your home. It will reduce the stress that has been pressing on your chest. It will create opportunities that you once feared were impossible. Jesus says this blessing is not temporary, it is the beginning of a long season of divine provision. A season where things begin to flow easily instead of painfully. A season where what you need arrives without a battle. A season where blessings come before you even ask. God says that the urgency you feel is not fear, it is divine timing. It is heaven pushing you forward. Gently but firmly, because the window is open and He wants you to step through. This moment matters because heaven has aligned something rare for you, something that does not come often, something that requires your awareness. Jesus says that many blessings pass people by because they scroll too quickly, doubt too easily, fear too deeply, or ignore the voice whispering in their spirit. But this time, you responded. You listened. You opened. And because of that, the spiritual chain holding back your breakthrough snapped the moment your heart said yes. God says that your daughter's future depends on breakthroughs like this. Not because she is weak, but because she is chosen. She carries a divine calling, a purpose that shines so brightly that even heaven rushes to protect her. Jesus says he has been shielding her from things you don't even know about. He has been covering her from harm, guiding her steps, protecting her path, and preparing her heart for the future that awaits her. And this blessing, the massive amount assigned to her destiny, is part of ensuring that nothing can block her path again. God says he knows the times when you felt the world was unfair to your daughter, when life seemed to test her more than others, when obstacles rose in her path faster than she could understand why. He knows the moments when she struggled quietly, when she doubted herself, when she felt discouraged, when she wondered why things were difficult. Jesus says this blessing is a divine correction, a recalibration, a healing of everything that tried to steal from her, delay her, or discourage her. The money being prepared is not just financial, it is symbolic of the restoration happening in the spiritual world. God says your daughter will rise. She will be restored. She will be protected. She will be blessed in ways that overshadow everything she has gone through. Jesus says you do not need to fear anything, because the hand of God is on her life in a powerful way. Your daughter is loved deeply by heaven, more than you can ever imagine. And because you are her guide, her protector, her source of strength, heaven releases blessings through you as well. When God blesses a child, he always strengthens the parent. When he lifts a daughter, he always supports the mother or father who stands beside her. God says your role in her destiny is sacred, and that is why this blessing comes through your life. God says to prepare your spirit for a shift. Things will not remain as they have been. The struggles that felt repetitive will begin to fade. The cycles that felt endless will break. The obstacles that seemed impossible will dissolve. Jesus says he is sending new people into your life, people who will help, support, uplift, and encourage you. People who will speak life instead of doubt. People who will bring opportunities instead of obstacles. God says he is repositioning you and your daughter for a new chapter that carries joy instead of stress, clarity instead of confusion, abundance instead of lack. God says the angel standing beside your daughter has been working tirelessly. This angel has been fighting battles you could not see, removing dangers you never noticed, blocking negative pathways that were never meant to touch her. Jesus says this angel has been trying to deliver messages to you for weeks, but the timing had to be perfect. The sense of urgency inside this message is because the blessing is already open, already active, already moving into your life at this very moment. Heaven wanted to make sure you did not miss the moment when the door swung open. God says to trust him. He knows your fears. He knows the doubts that try to rise within you, especially when something feels too good or too sudden. But God says this is real, this is prepared, and this is meant for you. Jesus says you have been loyal to your daughter, loyal to your responsibilities, loyal in your prayers even when you felt tired. And heaven rewards loyalty. Heaven rewards faith. Heaven rewards patience. God says you have been faithful even when life tested you, and that faith has opened the door for this breakthrough. God says you are safe. You are watched over. You are shielded. Nothing will go wrong with you. Nothing will fall apart. Nothing will harm your daughter. Out of all the moments in your life, this one is divinely chosen. Jesus says He is lifting you into a space where blessings come faster, easier, and with divine protection surrounding them. You do not need to fear losing anything. What is meant for you cannot be taken. What is assigned to your daughter cannot be stolen. What God has released into your lives is protected by angels who do not lose battles. God says this blessing is only the beginning. A sign that everything you prayed for is finally unfolding. A sign that your daughter's healing, peace, and success are coming. A sign that your struggles are ending. A sign that divine favor has found your home. God says trust Him, believe Him, and walk forward with faith. The urgency you feel is heaven touching your spirit because something beautiful, powerful, and life-changing is being placed into your hands, and God says you will receive it, my beloved child. God says this is an urgent message only for you, and even though heaven is speaking with intensity, every word is wrapped in divine safety. You are protected. You are covered. You are watched over. Nothing will go wrong with you. Nothing will harm you. Nothing will be taken from you. This message comes with urgency, but not with fear, because God does not give fear. He gives warning only to save you, lift you, guide you, and surround you in peace. So breathe, relax your shoulders, and open your heart, because the next words are meant to change the atmosphere around you, the energy in your home, the direction of your daughter's life, and the path you are stepping into. God says that even though the message is described as only 30 seconds left, He wants you to know that heaven never runs out of time. The urgency is not to scare you, it is to awaken your spirit to something extraordinary that has been forming around you for a long time. Something related to your daughter's blessing, her future, her growth, and an enormous financial breakthrough that heaven already confirmed in the spiritual realm. Jesus says this blessing is not small. It is not ordinary. It is not temporary. It is something massive, something life-changing, something that was originally delayed by certain energies around you, but now the delay is being reversed. The angels have been working quietly. Doors that were once locked are turning. But God says He needs your heart to be open so the blessing can travel fully toward you. You are safe. God keeps repeating that again and again. You are safe. Your daughter is safe. The blessing is safe. What was meant for you will not go to anyone else. What has your daughter's name on it cannot be touched by anyone's jealousy, manipulation, or interference. Jesus says a massive amount of spiritual wealth, that becomes material wealth, is already attached to your daughter's destiny. This is not money someone gives as charity. This is not random. This is not accidental. This is divine compensation. Heaven says your daughter is chosen for something extraordinary. There is an inheritance she is meant to receive, not from a person, but from God's own storehouses. You have cried for her, worried for her, prayed for her, and sometimes you carried burdens silently just so her life could be better. God saw every silent sacrifice. Not one tear was wasted. This is why Jesus is speaking so urgently right now. The money, the breakthrough, the shift, it is not a test. It is not a threat. It is a divine activation. Heaven is saying you must stay open, stay receptive, stay spiritually aligned. Because the next season of your daughter's life depends heavily on the faith you